Greetings. Do you remember what happened in 2008? I don't know about you. I remember exactly what happened. Financial meltdown, especially in the mortgage industry. However, when the things are going down, there are many people that are looking for a great opportunity to start something special in that time. I remember in 2001, I started one business and everything travel was way down. And now my special guest today, he started something. He's going to share the whole story himself. However, since then, because when the things are so down, what can go? It cannot go down anymore. It can only go up, and plus your cost of advertising, marketing goes down because everyone goes in a safe mode, and it becomes very easy for you to grow your business. I don't know about that one. That's exactly what happened to my guest. However, we are going to find out right now together very soon in the next few moments. So please set aside all the distractions so that way we can dive into the real content. In case you don't know me, my name is Mohammed Siddique. I'm the host of a growth hacking show and the co-author of New Success Secrets, which you can see it right here, available on Amazon. And on this episode, you are going to meet my special guest. He is the managing partner, founder, CEO of Spurs Capital, dealing with the first mortgages, all the capital investments, and he is no other than Bill Bymel. Bill is with us. Bill, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Bill, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to become the founder in a capital mortgage company?
Well, thank you for having me, Mohammed. I was involved in the real estate industry starting in about 2002. I grew up in the business. My father was involved with developers in South Florida. I myself got involved fixing and flipping residential houses in 2002, then became a partner in a commercial brokerage that specializes in tenant rep work for national retail and restaurant brands. And then in the summer of 2008, about 2 months before the fall of Lehman Brothers and the ultimate nail in the coffin for the financial markets, I got a call from an asset manager and managing a private equity fund in Southern California. And he said, Bill, I'm looking at 3,000 non-performing construction to perm loans on brand new houses in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Many people remember Port St. Lucie as one of the ground zeros of the mortgage meltdown. And this gentleman, just by pure coincidence, had called me up asking for advice on the value of this portfolio. And it was a light bulb moment for me. I saw an opportunity ahead as the markets were tumbling. I saw the opportunity to step in and maybe do some good for society and make a few dollars and take advantage of the opportunity that laid ahead. And so January 1 of 2009, we founded RSI Asset Management as a consulting firm to private equity funds involved in the mortgage investment business. And then I joined Spurs Capital 2 years later as a manager, first as a vice president and now as managing director for that organization. And we have now invested close to $1 billion in the space on behalf of private equity institutional partners, as well as some limited partners in the friends and family as well.
1 billion B?
That's correct. Yeah, we're at 850 million with one investor, and just over 100 million that we've invested on behalf of a few other partners. So we are now approaching, we think by next year, that we will have invested about $1 billion in this market. In the mortgage market and in the real estate market, it's $1 billion is not a lot of money, Mohammed. It's a $2 trillion market. So, we're actually considered a pretty small guy in the business.
Yeah, no, that's good. Still, 1 B for billion is still a large number. Doesn't matter how you slice it. It's not small. I'm sure you're doing a number of things right so people trust you, and they are getting their ROI on their investment regularly. Sure. And is a very regulated market, capital investment. So that way you have to follow the law and, stay in compliance everywhere. And, and the biggest issue is the trust in that business, so.
Absolutely. I mean, you see millions of dollars changing hands in our business on a handshake. The secondary markets are very much an old boys club. Live was lucky enough to be invited in by coincidence, and the market itself has grown a lot to allow for individual investors to get involved, to dip their toe in the water. But the key is it is obviously a very integrity-based business. It's very important.
Yeah. So let's try to get some real key, like snatch the experience from you to run any business, basically. And so I would consider it you're managing a $1 billion business of worth. That's what that is. So based on your experience, what are the top 3 missteps to avoid to grow your business? Because you started from very small, especially in the meltdown when everyone was kind of, squeezing their dollars.
Right.
And started and managed to $1 billion.
The important, obviously, an obvious misstep to avoid is who you trust in the business, and make sure that you do complete due diligence, whether that's on people or on products. In my case, we do a lot of due diligence on the investments we buy. We're buying pieces of paper, in essence. We're buying mortgages and notes. So a lot of time has to be spent picking through the details of that in due diligence. But it's also just as important to do diligence on your counterparty, on the person you're doing business with. There have been so many times that I've made this mistake, or seen others in the business go into that looks like a deal too good to be true, and it ends up being so, because the counterparty has a history of doing bad deals. So that is an important misstep to avoid. Number 2, I would recommend being very careful not to grow too quickly internally, overhead-wise. We do a lot of our business through outsourcing and subcontract work. Even though we've bought and sold on average $100 million worth of mortgage investments a year now for almost a decade. We are very careful not to have too many executives, have too top heavy an organization, because the business ebbs and flows. And there's times that you're not doing as much transaction volume, and we've seen the markets go up and down in terms of the rapidity of which deals are done. So you have to be prepared. I've seen a lot of mistakes made where people get too involved, have too large a growth too quickly, that they can't manage that growth and keep what's important and what's inherently the core of your business from kind of escaping your grasp. And those are the 2 big missteps to avoid that I would recommend.
One more. We need 3.
Oh, he needs a 3rd one. Okay. With regard to a 3rd one, then everything has to be in writing, obviously. I say that millions of dollars are transacted in handshake deals, and they are. But ultimately, things have to be in writing, and making sure that there's a clear, distinct legal path and agreement between parties will just prevent issues down the road, whether it's with your employees or with counterparties that you're doing business with. Even more so inside an organization with your staff. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you promise something that you can't deliver, or there's any misunderstanding about what that is. So obviously the details which you get all of your agreements and your policies and procedures in writing, that's very important.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. That's a great lesson. In fact, it's a great insights and wisdom coming from Bill. Bill, now we got the missteps to avoid. Now I want your core secret to your success. So what are the top 3? Not 1, not 2. We want the top success secrets to grow your business.
Right. The first one that I recommend is obviously work very hard and surround yourself by people who are passionate about the business. Even if it means paying a little bit more for a staff or giving up a little bit of a larger piece of the profits with a joint venture partner. If you see someone who is passionate and who's duplicatable, who's a duplicate of you that has as much passion and desire for to be successful as you, obviously, you know, that the key is people. And the more I do, more I work through this business, the more I realize people is really the ultimate commodity in all businesses in all walks of life. Number two, there is two aspects to every business, which is the delivery of a product or service and the maintaining of new customer base. You know, and this, whether you're a service business that has servicing clients or you're a manufacturer delivering products to those clients, you want obviously that to be the highest quality product or service that you develop. But one of the things that I have learned the hard way over the years, and is to make sure that you focus a good amount of your time on the front end of your business, on bringing in new clients. Don't just focus on the servicing of the existing, but always keep funneling new clients and prospecting new partners at all times. Don't kind of rest on your laurels. So by doing those two things combined, both servicing your clients well, delivering a good product to the market, as well as looking for new opportunities in form of joint ventures, business transactions, new customers, new clients, that's really the key to a very successful business. And then the third thing is make every relationship a win-win. And this really comes down to a philosophy that we've embedded in our investment management business, where we're going out and we're dealing with borrowers who are in default on their mortgages. And yet we're able to approach those people in a way that we want to make this relationship a win-win relationship. And hence the name for my book, Win-Win Revolution. It's all about my experience dealing with borrowers in this industry and approaching everything from how can we help you get out of this situation? As opposed, in essence, we're debt collectors, right? But we never call people up and say, hey, you owe us $40,000. If they couldn't make a $1,000 mortgage payment, how are they going to make a $40,000 payment? So we take a logical, hey, let's work this out. Let's find a win-win in the way that we resolve this situation. And in doing so, not only applies to my business, but I've started to apply that to every single aspect of my life, in and out of business, whether it's business or personal life. Whenever I have looked for a way to create a win-win solution to the existing problem, I feel like that I've always had the greatest success that way.
Very good. Win-win revolution. So that's how the name came from, because your philosophy is always a win-win. So let the other person win first. So,
Right.
That's a key part. So how Spurs Capital is growing their business right now at this time?
We are on the edge of obviously a long run of financial markets kind of regaining their power and businesses being successful again. Unfortunately, the markets are cyclical. So we all have to expect, whether it's a year from now or 4 years from now, that we're going to see some sort of a pullback in some sort of a black swan event. Something will come along that will cause maybe not the same meltdown that we experienced in 2008, but a period of uncertainty, whether it be in financial or real estate or any markets, energy markets. So right now we're preparing for the future. We're looking for new opportunities. Where is the next opportunity? We are still doing what we're doing. We just signed a deal with a new billion fund of funds that is invested another $100 million with us for the coming year. And we are also trying to keep some of that powder dry so that if there is financial issues ahead, that we will have an opportunity to take advantage of those.
Very good, very good. Well, based on your over a decade experience, I'm going to ask you a personal kind of personal question. I scared you already. So, business is a roller coaster. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. And
Correct.
how you keep going as a business owner when you feel like you are hitting the button.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Being in a roller coaster when you are down, how you keep going? What keeps you going at that time, at that moment?
Oh, I see. We try to be contrarian a little bit in what we do. So we try to look at the fears that we're feeling, and because so much of our business is based on emotion, we recognize and acknowledge that, and say that, well, that's the way the rest of the market is going to react to this. So we try to take some of those fears out of the situation. We try to look at not just the trees, but the forest, and then back at the trees. And so by taking different perspectives on things, being a little bit contrarian to where our own heart is telling us that we should be feeling, okay, markets are going down, maybe we shouldn't invest. We're able to step back and say, well, there is opportunity in every situation. Now let's take the emotion out and find the way to be successful in this scenario.
Wonderful, wonderful. So how the Growth Hacking Show community we can support you?
I would love for every one of your fans and your audience to read my book, Win-Win Revolution. It's available on Amazon. If you're an Amazon Unlimited Kindle subscriber, you get it for free. Or you can purchase the book via Amazon or even barnesandnoble.com. I'd love to hear reviews from your audience, and hopefully it will be successful to them. There's a lot of great insight that not only applies to my business and might be an inspiration for your audience to get involved in my business, but also the win-win revolution that I speak about in my book, I think can help people's paradigms grow to a point where they can apply it to their own business as well.
Wonderful. You know what? Here's the best part. You're still watching this. Yeah. Just get the book and you just learn the win-win part from Bill and just apply it in your own business. You don't even have to get involved with the Bill at all.
Sure.
If you really like it, you are welcome to have the conversation with Bill. It's all up to you, open, free. There's no binding of any kind. And of course, we all want a win-win. Go ahead and get the copy of a Win-Win Revolution from Amazon, and then just write a good review for that on Amazon or wherever you are actually going to get it from. So, Bill, as we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
Good luck to everyone. There may be wins ahead, and that would be true for small business owners, independent contractors, new business owners, or private investors. No matter what it lays ahead, try to look at every situation from a different angle. Look for new opportunities and everything. Best of luck to you all. I can be found on the internet if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Show community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia, wishing you good luck, good sales, and I do have a path across again with another amazing guest. Until then, all best wishes.
Good luck.